Like, I hated everything about myself. I hated my skin, my face, my hair, my teeth, my body, my torso, my legs. Like, I could pinpoint every single thing about myself that I hated, and it was almost everything exterior wise. But inside, I knew I was a good person. I knew I was a good daughter. I knew I was a good friend, but I felt like it was all based on looks of why I was getting bullied. I actually was thinking, like, what would I say to someone that's younger and going through this? And it's like, there's nothing of like, walk into school that day and stand up for yourself. It's actually like, find yourself in your alone moments because you're all you have. Trying to get peer approval, sure, it may make the moment a little bit easier, but like these people don't actually matter.
You can be surrounded by people and yet feel alone in a crowd and hollow in victory, because if you're only playing a role, any love that people give to you won't feel like it hits you existentially. You'll feel praise, but you won't feel love, because they're not in love with you. They're just applauding the role that you're playing.
Everyone is always supposed to be doing something, but if you're not meant to be doing that, why the fuck are you doing it? Do what you're meant to, not what you're supposed to. If you're not living life to the fullest, you are missing out on so much. And I hope that people can watch this and realize that you are worth that meant to life rather than that supposed to life.
If you've wanted to do something, you got to go for it, because we have literally no idea how much time we have here. And that's what I'm doing. I'm like, oh, I'm going for it. I believe in something. I'm going to go for it, and I'll handle whatever comes with that.
I wonder how many people have gone through their entire lives never doing anything that they weren't supposed to do. There's this sort of assumption a lot of people have that, who am I to actually have needs or desires or wants? It's like, no. It's noble for me to hate what I do and still do it. It's noble for me to suffer, but no one's going to give you some award at the end of your life that says he suffered in silence.
Yeah.
I don't think that exists.
If there's one thing that I've learned, it's that there is no career path that comes free of negativity. If you're being met with resistance, that probably means that you're doing something new. If you're experiencing turbulence or pressure, that probably means you're rising. And there might be times when you put your whole heart and soul into something and it is met with cynicism or skepticism. You cannot let that crush you. You have to let it fuel you.
If they don't have what you want, don't listen to what they say. There's no greater waste of time than justifying your actions to people who have a life you don't want.
So having that backbone, and if you believe in yourself, like if you genuinely believe in yourself, you are 75% already there towards your goals. Like you will accomplish them. If you believe yourself, put in the work, it's done.
We live in a world where anyone has the right to say anything that they want about you at any time. But just please remember, you have the right to prove them wrong.
The problem is, particularly young people today, they're so afraid of being different. But look at all the powerful people in this world. Look at your Elon Musks. Look at your celebrities in entertainment, in business, and politics. They're one of a kind. That's where your power lies. And you'll go, oh, but Robert, those are people that were brilliant, that were talented. I'm not like that. I don't have that. Well, bullshit. You do have that. You have that potential. It's just you're not putting the effort into it. You are lazy. You want to fit into the group. You want to conform because it's easy.
Lots of people, maybe most people, want to be extraordinary in some way, but also don't want to stand out in a way that allows them to be mocked. The latter is the price of the former. You can't behave the way that everybody else does and expect to not get the results that everybody else gets.
So what the game of life involves is knowing your uniqueness, is knowing who you are, and knowing what makes you different is going to guide you past these dangerous moments in life.
If I had a quarter and it came up heads 5 times in a row, what are the odds that it's going to come up heads 6 times in a row? It's absolute 50-50. Just because something has happened doesn't mean it's going to. Just because you're in a place doesn't mean that's where you should be. So along with luck, shouldn't the other requirement be faith or some degree of disconnected to it, to whatever the end result is going to be? You have to be all right with what's going to happen.
A lot of people wait for perfect conditions to start, but don't realize that starting is the perfect condition.
I mean, just sitting around dreaming someday, someday I'm going to get a different job. Someday I'm going to change this. Well, someday ain't a day of the week.
People get frustrated not achieving what they want because they assume that they're going to jump across a cavern in one leap. But if you picture your goals like you're trying to build a bridge, every brick that you put on that bridge is progress. And each one of those bricks represents a skill that you need to learn along the way. It just takes all the way until you get to the other side that you can actually walk across. And so the walking across is the perceived achievement.
You make those incremental changes, and then pretty soon in December, you go, hey, I'm way better off than I was at the end of February. So you made little changes, and they all added up. And if you don't, by the end of the year, you're just in deeper. So every little bit matters.
If you have a problem with me, text me. And if you don't have my number, you don't know me well enough to have a problem with me. And I think that that is such a great piece of advice, because I just try to really care about what my family thinks, what my friends think.
You get frustrated sometimes. It could feel really unfair. You could be reading something that someone is saying about you and being like, that is so unfair because that's not who I am. But then looking at myself in the mirror and being like, but I know who I am. And my friends know who I am. And my family knows who I am. My dog knows who I am. My horse knows who I am. Like, why does anything else matter?
Yeah, I remember like 2 or 3 years ago, someone was saying, oh, look how arrogant he is. And these are critics that really hurts me, because I know I'm not like this. And if someone doesn't like my true self, then it's like this. I won't be liked by everybody in the world. This is normal. So I just need to be my true self.
I try my best to not let that stuff affect me. It does. I'm not cold-hearted or anything like that. It does affect me, but I just try to move on and focus on the positives.
If you knew that you were going to succeed, it wouldn't be worth doing to begin with. The fact that you are uncertain when you start is what makes it worthwhile. And the fallacy of being in the pursuit is the worry or the concern that it won't amount to anything, because who you are becoming is the thing that you are amounting to in real time every day.
Life can be heavy, especially if you try to carry it all at once. Part of growing up and moving into new chapters of your life is about catch and release. What I mean by that is you can't carry all things, all grudges, all updates on your ex, all enviable promotions your school bully got at the hedge fund his uncle started. Decide what is yours to hold and let the rest go.
When you're feeling the most trapped and down and nothing can't go right, I feel like those are the moments that define you. Those are those character canon moments that are like, what am I going to do now? And for the people who are listening, that doesn't feel like they can change the circumstances with the way they think or they feel, just hold on, just endure. Thinking your way, feeling your way, working your way through those things. Look at things differently. Challenge yourself to look at things as the glass half full.